So how do you choose your hotel and restaurants these days? You will get a recommendation for a friend, which I recommend. They've been there, they experience it, they can tell you what's good or bad. The other thing that you do is you look for 5-star reviews. Many 5-star reviews in fact, and you went there and tasted and the food was meh. You're like, how did this even deserve a 5-star review? Why is it happening? These businesses probably engage in a system of 5-star reviews purchase. So what we do these days is, when going for a restaurant, I typically will look for the 1-star, 2-star, 3-star reviews to understand what are the downsides of this business before I even approach it. So this phenomenon is actually called a Goodhart's law. When a measure becomes a target, it ceases to become a good measure. The things that you use to track might no longer be applicable in the future. So an example of this in the financial markets is that central banks actually rely on inflation and GDP figures to formulate their policies. However, governments might want to influence the central bank's decision. They do this by manipulating how the inflation figures could be computed. By computing a lower inflation figures, people might actually think that things are alright. Another example of this scenario is that we used to look at companies with high earnings. So do you know that earnings recorded can actually be manipulated? You could have promised me that you want to give me a certain business, but you have not paid me yet. So do I consider this an earning or not? So I'd like to end off by sharing that you need to be very careful of the metrics that you use to measure certain performance. Some of these metrics might be outdated and no longer performing up to task. Take care, don't lose your money.